Quick, like and subscribe to always have zero ping and good loot in Fortnite.
He's not going to be rocking anywhere whatsoever. Going to be stuck right now and then just taken out of the competition. So far with no help, it's all water, no connections, just player builds. Everyone has to decide the world for themselves right now. Bugha wants to take it for himself. Perfect tracking on people.
That was an unconventional game, guys, to outlast and to play against each other in that one. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Hey, Fortnite Moments fans! Want more V-Buck giveaways? Make sure to use code BEAST in the item shop. And we'll continue to give out redemption codes just like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out.
All right, well, guys, it's time to get into the next set of games. Shy Wager, Ball TW, take us in.
Well, the POV we haven't seen before, and man, the definition basically of an up-and-comer, it's Nosh. He's kind of proven himself time and time again in every single mode how good he is. Kind of dips out of the limelight at some times, though. Still landing. Once again, we get an update on Retail Row, this time slightly earlier. But still pushed later into the game. The looting's kind of done. The shields are up. Bugha fan is here again as well. And now it's time for the fights to start. We know the early aggression starts with Nosh. It'll always be efficient and effective.
100%. And just to be clear, the range is 143 for EU for top 300. Nosh, by the way, is out of that, not on pace to get forward here, and he's going to try to find a way back in. 95 points so far, so good on day 2. And Bugha fan, well, we saw him in the last game get on the back foot against Diggy, is going to go right down again in the same house, so maybe he's got to find a solution to the path that he's been taking. That finds him up against solid players like Nosh, like Diggy. Tfue in this game too, landing what looks like Frenzy Farm at the Orchard. And going from there, 46 points. Tfue was very, very far off pace due to a couple of unfortunate games for him in a row. Or at least that's what people are saying. We'll see if he can actually get away from those unfortunate circumstances this time and qualify for the top 300, qualify for week 2.
It's that separation from day to day that lets people like Tfue get a refresher, not stay burnt out, and have a say on the competition stronger than ever before as well. Somewhat landing peaceful, though. I'm pretty sure he's used to hot action on drops, at least for the last season. This time, a little bit more tranquil. Will just be a 1v1 against the classic ZDQW, who we haven't seen all the way since, I believe, a Winter Royale. Might not be seeing too much of time in this game either. Heavy Sniper coming in, taking him out. That's the consequence of, I guess, not finding shields, or at least too many shields off of your first few drops.
Tfue with the Heavy Sniper is a deadly combination. We saw it all through FNCS duos, and you're alluding to his drop at the Grotto. He was dropping there yesterday, by the way. When you say he's maybe used to a little bit more contested drop spots. Today, maybe switching tunes a little bit with the help of some other community figures. Wondering now, Wiggs against Nosh. This is a big fight, for both players. 47 points for Wiggs right now. Nosh slightly ahead on that day 2 score. And Wiggs does not want any part of that, especially I think he realizes that this is the timing that a third party comes in, and yes, he hears it.
Patience will be key. This is the next kind of relationship we've seen with people hiding out and people waiting to just get that pop on. The big headshot damage. But he'll choose to start or stop staying low-key and start up the move towards height. Look for a better position to third party the next fight as well. Because the full green loadout is going to be looking for upgrades. The best way is to get loot. What a better way of getting it than letting other people do the work and then coming in right afterwards with a quick raw replace. A nice possible peanut butter triangular edit, and then a quick pump afterwards doesn't connect. The block from the pyramid, the right edit's not there though. Finally doubling back to the ramp is his opponent, who's looking just to stay a little bit of a ways away, but Wiggs is on his wall.
And this is H-tag on the backside. We came into that fight, and now Wiggs against his opponents, trying to find out if he can get on the backside, and he does escape the building and makes himself a nice big metal base, and that gives him a lot of space to work with and look for cheeky shots just like that. Wiggs now needs to be careful, as Nosh has gained himself all the room in the world.
And that's someone he wasn't expecting to be up here in this fight. A nice, quick, almost silent pump. If your ears were off there for a half a second, Nosh is moving faster than the servers can even handle. And because of that, Wiggs can't even track him himself with his eyes. The decision is to jump off breaking tarps, not reconnect, but be there in a position to bop down again. Nosh cleans up retail row and is the sole survivor and king as you switch over to the agency.
That's one of the craziest flicks I've seen from Nosh, and that's one of the reasons why this guy is so known in the community for being one of these guys that can really do well in tournaments just like this. But he's been kind of missing for a long time, both in the Cash Cup scene and elsewhere. There was that infamous Cash Cup where it was duos and him and Chaotic were very, very close to winning. No, actually it was a solos one, just with Nosh. Very close to winning, but he ended up queuing for the wrong one. This agency fight has gone so many ways, so many directions. This is the first time we're going to see it actually trying to be a disengage out north. Slapfin is not going to have any of that, especially that he knows he has that drum gun that he can work with and probably has some information on the player here, but he's wasting all the ammunition and almost wasting the biggest tool in his kit right now, which is that drum gun. 30 bullets left. I think it should still be enough. 9 now, but not reloaded. He wants to get in this box so bad, and Durant comes out from the back and ends that instantly. It's now Durant against Furious, and Durant will take huge advantage because Furious had wasted everything to try to escape. There's a drum gun, and there's ammunition to boot for Durant.
He needs to stay here, though, and finish this fight because I believe that agency card for the vault is in that box as well. So ever so important for all the shields needed for endgame. And right now the points so important for early. And if he doesn't finish this fight fast, it might actually be really hard. Bfo is all the way down at bottom, hiding in a very peculiar position. We'll fly away there as we have a big fight about to start. Commandment versus Tfue at Pleasant Park.
This could be monumental. Commandments. 43 points so far, and we're into around the 4th to 5th games played for most players. And he's nowhere near the pace of yesterday, but he ended on a historic 3-game in a row victory royales with 10 plus elims in 2 of those, and then 7th in the first one. This guy is on a tear, and for good reason. He's constantly playing very well in the scrims. He's constantly grinding the arena. And he's been here since the start. I mean, in World Cup, he qualified in week number 1. This fight does go a little bit. Commandment on the back foot. He only has a med kit against Tfue, who is playing very aggressively. I think trying to gain back a little bit of confidence, especially knowing that Commandment is low HP.
Well, we know that when Commandment is on the back lines, when he has to clutch, even under the worst of circumstances. If you talk about his history, I think that's what he's kind of been known for his team. Always last alive, always getting those final points, and most of the time as well, the win. Can that be the situation here against Tfue? He's done it once before, but that's always been during endgames. Right now, possibly have to give up a lot of pressure and space. Tfue on the side of multiple walls, all wood, so he can track Commandment really easily within these builds. Commandment, though, just looking to find a little bit more breathing room. Try to stop every possible point of attack from Tfue, but it won't be possible. Eventually, there'll be just enough of ground claimed where he'll be backed off into a corner. But he finds a way to escape, possibly to another house. How long will this safety last? He'll have to farm right back up again. Only 5 mats for the rest of this game.
5 materials, the perfect time to escape, and Tfue was hungry for it because he knew how low HP Commandment was and clearly knew the situation a little bit more. He's lingering to see if Commandment's still going to try to make this rotate, but I think Commandment's just got to do everything he can right now to get back up into a material situation where he can take a fight, at least going forward, and maybe hopefully rotate to one of the houses further in east or west of Pleasant Park. Maybe at that brick house where he can get a little bit more than what he gets here at the dog house, which is only wood.
You'll just have to be patient, but you're right. The unfortunate part of Pleasant Park is how sticky it can be for people just waiting and staying around it. There's not much to rotate to on that left side. And once again, we see the zone going towards that place. Could it be another aquatic ending? The same one we saw last game. Right now, Nosh on his back foot all the way up in Storm, but a nice jumping side drag tack shot to wrap up that fight. We talk about unique shots. We talk about flicks. This man is the king of that playstyle.
But it wasn't quick enough, Shio. It just wasn't quick enough. He used the flopper right before he went down. So Nosh has no white health. Thankfully, there's a launch pad here from what looks like another elimination earlier on. He is going to be able to fly his way in to the center water and swim a little bit further. Meanwhile, at Risky Reels, a medkit left right on the side. Imagine if Commandment just knew that. That one little piece of information could help him so much. But back with BFO, we saw him a little bit towards the end game of the last. And he's still here. Again, 54 points off of the last one. This is Fuzzy ahead of him, a player who time and time again has been a solid solo performer. Did very well at DreamHack Anaheim. Almost qualified for World Cup multiple weeks out of the 5 attempts. But when you get BFO behind you like that to start things off, it's going to be rough. Meanwhile, Nosh did fall.
Unfortunate for Nosh. Unfortunately not making the best of calls at the right speed. Still, though, a good game to wrap up. He does leave with a few points of early and mid-game eliminations. Right now, BFO, we can kind of assume with the loadout that he has, that he survived the agency, got a little bit of loot as well from the vault. But no amount of loot will help you in this situation. You have to be able to land shots and play your position. He is on a lifeline right now, just 9 HP. Medkit's there, but has to buy 10 seconds of time.
And he does. I think Fuzzy doing the same thing inside of that zone. And he is back up to a little bit of HP. He's going to box out and box over. High ground going to be taken from Fuzzy. And he gets into zone RPG pressure, but BFO did get that med kit off. So the nice damage done from Fuzzy early is erased. The progress that he got now has to be recouped. Commandment, it's still up. He went to another house in Pleasant Park, started farming, actually went down and dipped in to get a little bit of metal. Well done from Commandment and very resourceful, knowing his home of Pleasant Park for so long.
Right now it's a home away from home for both Fuzzy and BFO, just looking for a way to end this fight. But I think with how close and personal these guys have gotten, it's not possible. And oh no, Fuzzy, another time where he's just kind of cut from the competition a little bit just too early. He's not going to see the light of day. BFO, though, gets to move on.
And something to note is that BFO was 453rd after yesterday's day 1 with only 35 points. So far, this day is looking good. Fuzzy was in a similar situation. Not quite yet qualified, but slightly above pace in comparison to BFO. He was at 76 yesterday. So hopefully that fight does not mean too much. BFO just got another heavy snipe shot, though, onto Bluge. In the distance, speaking of heavy snipes, Tfue connects again. But look at this. We're getting another water zone Shio pretty much in the same location, but not coming from the same location. This time not as far west. And the congestion is going to be brutal because this is just third zone and basically the entire lobby does not want to cross the Frey Islands.
This would be a same situation, different lobby. And with the amount of people, as you said, who don't want to move over. I mean, moving too, you'll look at people who are just trying to get a different spot in the lobby. Magnolia is not going to be rocking anywhere whatsoever. Going to be stuck right now and then just taken out of the competition. And everyone else starts to calm down and look for the next target to pick on. It's a group effort for this lobby to find the next elimination.
And it feels like most of the players here are right in the same range. Tfue, again, the same type of story that I talked about for BFO and Fuzzy. Outside looking in terms of qualification. So far, so good today. Zate right next to him in that same position. Bugha was definitely on pace to qualify. I'm curious how many points he has today, if he's already started to push his way up. Yes, 58. He should be okay, given that he was around 100th place yesterday. Zate already started off with a win. But man, is this lobby going to be difficult to do anything. If this pulls, we got 2 seconds. If this pulls across the water for 4th, and thankfully it goes on the south coast, thankfully people don't have to make the swim, but still this rotation is going to be awkward because that is literally probably 60 to 70% of the lobby up on that north coast.
And even if there is a launch pad, we saw how overwhelmed Big 60 was on height with just about 10 people padding. Right now it seems like there's almost 40 people out of the 50 who are alive on this right side. If you're looking for beams, if you're looking for quick elims, and that's your motto and mantra, that might not be possible because you'll just be distracted and overwhelmed by the amount of people flying all at the same time. That being said, if you go in early by yourself, you might be the target of many different beams, and that happens right now with... It's Bifo who gets taken out. Not sure why. He just solo padded straight away. The first person to take the bait. Who will be next? Mr. Aspect looks for a shot down below, but we hear another launch pad come straight through. This one a little bit more low-key. People starting to fly now together, and people who have the opportunity for a launch pad, Sticks, Apostles, electing not to take it and move in safely at the cost of materials.
Hey Fortnite Moments fans, do you want to win a free and exclusive Rogue Spider Night skin? If so, make sure you complete these 3 easy steps to own this rare skin yourself. First, simply leave a like on the video. Then, make sure you're subscribed to Fortnite Moments with post notifications turned on. And lastly, comment your epic ID and a reason why you should win this exclusive skin. The prize winners will be announced soon, so make sure to enter while you still can. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Commandment's still alive, by the way. We saw him with 0 materials after that fight with Tfue. Speedy trying to make his way in. A lot of people down on the low ground. I think everybody trying to use old builds, but at the same time, they don't know whether there's going to be sneaky players like Speedy staying still and hoping that somebody falls into his trap. He's going to start the rotation again himself. I saw Zate go down. Falter takes out Commandment. Not Zate, sorry. Saf go down. Zate's still alive in this one. Falter's a name who did play with Aspect in squads as well now. And this is also kind of repeat names that we saw in the last game in terms of Aspect, in terms of BFO, so I'm wondering if Illest is somewhere lurking nearby.
And sometimes you'll see materials be the thing that gets depleted the most of when you're in these zones. Right now, Speedy, a nice block of the actual wall, has to bring it down again, but no, it just turns gears on a Joey 2C, who we actually know box fights so well this time, though. Outsmarted by the creativity for Speedy. Baiting in, conditioning the enemy into thinking he wants the beast control for the wall and play behind it, but then switching gears, getting straight into the box. Now he controls a little bit of that low ground, all the pressure that Joey made, plus the new base that he did too. We see in the background, Falter, Zate, Tfue, all beside each other, and now, when the zone reveals itself, 2 things to note. It's full water, but we're also going back to old builds.
That we are, and there's a launch pad that one player's going to be able to use. Bugha there too, Liqueur right next to it. But something to note about why people don't necessarily like to solo pad, you called it out earlier, is that this game is a lot of times about player behavior, reading the player behavior, and not cooperating, but operating with that in mind. You don't want to solo pad because everybody will have the beams on you, and you have to wait for other players to go with you. That's why Bugha has not yet used that pad. Same with Liqueur. Big 60 on PC, who had high ground in the last game, is in this game with Sky's AR. And again, he pulls zone. Again, he has the opportunity to have the shooting gallery up on the sky.
He goes for it, but I think this time it's a little bit edited. Not too many people flying by. It's not the same feast as we saw before, but he indeed does have, I think, the best possible loadout you can in the game right now as a solo player playing Endgame, especially in a water zone. It'll be a complete repeat, a run back. Looking for redemption this time. He finds Ghoul all the way over there at the bottom side. and has a possibility for a refresh, but Ball has so many materials, so much loot already, he might just bait it. That possibly might be the wave.
And from 60 players down quickly to 30. In the last game, we kind of had a little bit extra time because it was not full water for a long time. But look at this. Bugha has taken height in 5th. And with 58 points, a lot of ammunition in his legendary AR, an epic pump too. This is a great spot for Bugha to operate, but the material is looking very weak. One thing that he did so well many, many times in World Cup was perform in situations just like this in the most dire circumstances with limited materials, found the impacts that he needed, found the boxes to heavy snipe in so that he could survive to see another day with just a little bit of extra materials. We'll see if he can do it here off of high ground. There's a possibility, but man, this goes so far.
So far with no help, it's all water, no connections, just player builds. Everyone has to decide the world for themselves right now. Bugha wants to take it for himself. Perfect tracking on people flying all the way around. The server develops, jumping from high ground, skyscraper to skyscraper, finding metal builds, now down to wood. The heavy sniper there, unsuspectingly, it'll be the Durant actually, who was at the agency, surviving, taken out completely. Now Bugha has the drum gun. We saw him utilize it before, so hard to actually acquire and use in duos. This time now he'll be able to operate with it solos. You know how good it is as well when you're an individual player, and he doesn't even need it. AJ at the forefront of his pump gets taken out immediately, and he still moves forward.
And there was a threat instantly, recognizes that, starts the drum gun fire, and look at this, Shio, we're in 6th zone, and all of a sudden there's 5 people left. I don't know how that happened, but mostly that full water zone will do it to you. Bugha now with the drum gun, and how much time he has to work this lobby, how much time he has to hold height, and how much time he has to basically build out this tarp and find the opportunities to spray down. I don't see a way that this could be lost. Maybe if it was final zone, we'd see this grappler have a big say, although this build fight, if it goes too long, could cause Bugha to lose, and quickly.
I mean, still a tricky zone, although Bugha is the one on height. The biggest enemy so far has been the moving zone, not only dragging the whole lobby over water, but now when everyone's left on low ground up a hill, Bugha as well, not sure what to do as there's so much of a disparity in distance between him and other players. It'll be him versus 60 versus Knight for height. Zayt is there at low ground, low HP, but secluded. I think on his last wall, has to land this beam, get some damage down, but cannot protect himself close range. Knight takes him out as Bugha watches along. Now, a 4-man situation, everyone on their own in their separate realms.
And oh my goodness, there's just so many variables that you actually have to take into account when it's such good players like Knight, like Zayt, like Likur, all these players in the Duos Grand Finals, the most recent, and then Big 60 who showed up in the last 2 games that we watched. Now Likur against Knight, both in the Grand Finals. The Duos, it's going to be Knight against Likur. Bugha pouncing at the perfect opportunity. He's now got piece control on Likur, and I think he will take this as finally, no, there's still a wall holding. And he has a little bit of HP, takes another storm tick. Bugha now, 0 materials. He has to drop down to low ground. Some wood. He grabs it. That's 250 wood that he can now go forward. And there's still more materials down in the low ground because it's going all over the old water where it was, how many people fell? It was like 30 in an instant.
Yeah, everyone just raised by the zone, and now Bugha gets to get the reward for that. Lost at sea, but then finally claimed Likur, though. Although having the advantage in position, especially on a zone doubling back on absolutely new water, the issue is going to be taking height cost him so much HP. While this 9th zone starts to close in, he will be on a ticking time clock while Bugha looks to just kind of survive. Not sure if Likur has floppers, though. It'll be a quick, decisive look all the way up top. Not sure if that was a pump or a few bullets of the drum gun.
Heavy snipe.
Either way,
I think it was a heavy snipe. Because he's reloading it at the end there. I would love to see that back again, but I don't know if we're going to. That was an unconventional game, guys. We had 6 people in 6th zone, and then we get extended all the way to 9th because everybody has the skills to outlast and to play against each other in that one. I've never seen anything quite like that.
I mean, I think the issue or the thing that made them last the whole time was those skills, right? All the way till the end. Even when Illis was in that lobby, he took out everyone. That's the first time we've seen that water zone, I think, really close out in a format like this.